we at CubicFarms are what we call a local chain agtech company, and we have developed automated indoor growing technologies that are capable of growing commercial scale quantities of fresh produce or livestock feed anywhere on Earth, 365 days a year. We're very proud to be recognized and see that technology awarded by many respected institutions. But we are also deeply proud to be founded by farmers, because that really is transpiring through all the things that we do and how we behave. CubicFarms is in essence two companies. One, CubicFarms Indoor AgTech, is dedicated to growing commercial scale quantities of fresh produce for the retail market. What I will be talking to you about today is HydroGreen, where we dedicate ourselves in growing commercial scale fresh livestock feed indoors. What drives us at HydroGreen is the threat of farm unpredictability and the growing concerns that it has around the cost and the dangers of running out of food. It's very close to home here. I'm calling from British Columbia. I'm less than an hour away from Abbotsford. And the news, as you've seen already over the last 2-3 days, it's devastating to see farmers fighting to just save as much as they can against so much adversity and such an unprecedented turn of event. It was just fine a week ago, and now we are completely in a different situation. And that's that unpredictability that is driving us at HydroGreen. And if it's not too much water, it's too little water, and the 20-year mega drought that's affecting most of the Western states. This is significant. We're seeing farmers that are being told they will have 30% less water in the coming years. How do we grow crops in those conditions? How do we keep growing our businesses in those conditions? Conditions also where the scarcity of land is a real thing. There's so much urban pressure. There's also land erosion taking place. We've used up pretty much all available arable land. How do we keep growing more? We have to intensify our production, but we have to also do things differently. Talking about severe and increasingly severe weather events that we're experiencing right now in British Columbia, but in other places in the world. That can affect crop yield and will affect farms for many years to come, unfortunately. But then there is also dependence on feed suppliers and commodities and prices of fertilizers, for example, all over the news, as many of you are very well aware of. Those things are working at creating unpredictability that is really creating issues for farmers to do one thing here. And that's the pictures to the right. There is one thing that never changed. These cows have to be fed. They got to be fed quality ration every day. There is not a day you got to skip. And you have all that adversity working against you. This is a very difficult job. And that's what we believe, that farm unpredictability is something we have to address. And at HydroGreen, founded by farmers, we've created technology that will help farmers to feed a changing world sustainably. And sustainably for us means, number one, profitably. We've got to stay in business as we do this. And number two, using a minimal amount of natural resources. We want to transform the unpredictability that's growing all around us and create consistency on the farm with fresh feed grown on farm that creates a very reliable crop every day, very sustainable in the way that we look at our footprint, and also provide the most nutritious feed that farmers have been able to feed at scale to their cows. Our technology is pretty simple, and that's where the farmer founded comes to play. It's simple, it's automated, it doesn't take much labor, and it's very scalable. We have two different systems that can be used individually or in multiple units at a time. Everything is automated. We are pretty much growing seeds to feed in less than 6 days. This is a cycle, very natural, clean water, air, and light. It's hydroponic based. We are growing indoor in a controlled environment where we give every seed the perfect day every day. And those conditions create a recipe to provide 365 harvests every year, not affected by weather challenges. It doesn't matter what temperature, what the weather is outside. Furthermore, we are not using any fertilizers. We are not using any pesticides. This is a very clean feed. It's consistent. We're bringing consistency back on the farm, and we bring freshness and nutrition onto the cow's ration. And it has many benefits that we will cover very shortly. We're addressing two different markets: the smaller, medium-sized dairies and ranches, and there the DGS66. It's one of the two models that we have in our range. One of them is good for about 100 cows at a time. You can see a few numbers here if you want to start calculating how much is it can feed cows. For the larger commercial operations, we have the GLS 808 grow system. We plan them in multiples of 6. Here, the principle is to harvest an entire grow system per day. So 6 systems, 1 system per day. We call that a vertical pasture. And vertical pastures are meant to be modular and scalable as well, to grow with the business from 1,000 cows, 2,000, all the way to 8,000 plus cows, with multiple modules put together under one controlled environment. That vertical pasture produces incredible amount of fresh feed every day. From seed to feed, the principle is the same in 6 days. But if you take an example of a vertical pasture with 12 of our GLS 808 modules, you can produce 25 million pounds of fresh feed every year. It's a significant amount. That's what we call commercial scale. It's enough to feed, to participate in a ration of up to 2,000 cows using just 1/10 of the water compared to an irrigated crop. We look at it also as a way to an equivalent of 500 acres of land using no pesticides and no fertilizers. These 365 harvests per year of live green feed really provides the consistency. And I've included a little video here that shows you the sprouting effect of wheat or barley. And that's what we grow on our systems. It's either wheat or barley, depending on what makes the most sense and what can be sourced locally. But here you see probably day 4 and 5, it goes really, really fast. The first few days are really intensive when it comes to wetting the seed to trigger the germination process. Then at 6 days, we stop at peak nutrition concentration and values, and that's when we harvest at 6 days. So here I play that again, and then you see the germination taking place. This is day 2, and then it goes very, very quick from there. And it's just a repeat process. You seed, it grows, the recipes goes with water, light, and air movement. At 6 days, you push a button in harvest, reseeds automatically, and away you go. Talking a little bit about nutrition, without going into too much detail, we have teams of nutritionists that are available to go more in details, but it's a feedstuff, it's a feed ingredient that is highly palatable. And I'll show you a video that will speak 1,000 million words. It's highly digestible, over 90% digestible, very, very efficient in the rumen. It's high in sugars, but not complex sugars. I won't go in more details here, but we understand that not all sugars are created equal, and the sugars we have in that feed are incredibly efficient for the cows on the dairy side or on the beef side for meat quality. It's got very low starch. And one key point are the enzymes present in this sprout. We're not creating a fiber here. We're creating a really enzyme-rich, dense feed that will improve the overall ration digestibility. The effects are incredible. I'll show you some early results that we have, because we need to quantify these things, and I'll share that in a minute. In terms of application, it has a property to have a very low potassium, 0.5. It's excellent for transition cows, excellent for those of you that are struggling possibly to find low potassium hay, good quality hay at low potassium. That feed is absolutely perfect for transition cows. And we've done a few observations. We're not trying to address all the cows blindly. We are very intentional about our approach. So now we've observed and fed from weaning to breeding to transition cows, early lactation cows to peak milk, to understand the mode of action and the results that we are seeing, and benchmark those results to see where we are getting the better return. We've done our observation with a very prominent high-performance dairy. We're very grateful for their cooperation, and I think they have enjoyed that very much at Crosswind Jerseys, north of Sioux Falls, south of Brookings. This is a very, very highly productive dairy, one of the best Jersey herd in the U.S. And top notch in terms of butterfat production. And so we didn't go where it was easy to improve. We went where the best are operating, and we wanted to see how far can we push things. It was remarkable. We've looked at transition cows, we looked at weaned cows, weaned heifers. We looked at now we are in high lactation, peak milk. It's very, very interesting. We're seeing a response in terms of rumination activity, dry matter intake. It was dramatic. It was quick. And it was sustained. And it was also very obvious that when we stopped feeding the feed, we saw the herd coming back, or the group of cows coming back to their, basic standard behavior, really, and performance level. So we've noticed everything that we've looked at. We've looked at double-digit improvements on rumination, dry matter intake, conception rates on heifers was incredible. Milk weights we've also seen a response. So lots of very promising benefits. But one of the things I'd like to show you, I like to let the cows speak for themselves. And if you're familiar with Jersey cows, you will really enjoy that. I will show you in the next screen. It's two videos. On the left side, you will see cows on the hydrogreen ration. So hydrogreen has been added to the ration of these cows, and that was just a few days after we started the trial. On the right side of your screen, you will see same group of cows in the same lactation group, where actually hydrogreen was removed from the ration, and then they were back on their normal ration. I just let you take a look at it. If I can play this, there we go. So if you know Jersey cows, they tend to be pretty curious, and they want to know what's going on. So on the left side with hydrogreen, we were absolutely stunned by the behavior change of the animal. And at scale, everybody is really busy eating. To the right here, that's really when, it's the next day we removed the hydrogreen from the ration, and the owners were stunned as well by the reaction of the cows. When we started again feeding hydrogreen, we just saw the same behavior again of rushing and aggressive behavior at the bunk, and improved dry matter intakes and so on. So that's where we are in our journey with Hydrogreen in terms of development. Now we are focusing ourselves on building our certified dealer network to support customers in the United States to get started, and Canada. We just announced a new dealer in British Columbia. Unfortunately, right now, I think our colleagues there have much different things to worry about. But we are partnering with seasoned dairy and beef industry professionals like Total Dairy Solutions, TDS, SetJ Agri Services and Engineering, Hanson Industries on the West Coast, and Dalgros International in the Midwest, with more dealers to come across North America over the next few months. What's important for us is in that dealership network, is to partner with like companies that are looking at a full circle of solutions. This is not just about grow systems and feed. This is about helping farmers really feed the world that's changing all around us. Methane emission reductions are on the agenda everywhere. Renewable energy, we need to do more with less. We need to take care of our soil, etc., etc. There are so many opportunities on farms that we can really participate with like-minded companies through these dealerships to provide a full circle of solutions that will build the farms of the future. We are part of this. We know we have a role to play. Feed is such an important input. There's so much unpredictability, so much variability, and the need for consistency as well on the feed side. So our mission really here is to bring that consistency, to bring that reliability. We have to grow these feed on site every day and fresh. And the freshness with the enzymes is going to really boost the performance of the animals, as we see. And the water conservation aspect, the land conservation aspect is significant and part of that circle of circular farming and towards and beyond net zero farming. So that's the extent of that introduction when it comes to our technology at Hydrogreen. And we really believe that together, we can't do that alone. And we believe that together with companies like those that are participating in this virtual conference, we can transform the agricultural system. And we must help farmers plan for a future with less water and less land. Thank you very much.
Terrific. Thanks, Thierry. That was very interesting. I love the Jersey cows' reaction. You're right. Most of them wanted to eat and not pay attention to the cameras or what was going on. If anybody does have any questions, if you could leave them there, that would be great. And I will position them to Thierry. One of the things that I found interesting was you said you used barley for the feed. Is that the only seed that you usually use, or in your Hydrogreen, or?
We have built a lot of experience around barley and wheat.
Wheat.
Or both, yes, both wheat and barley, two different crops, and they provide an excellent feed ingredient with slightly different characteristics. Barley may be a little bit more forgiving in terms of growth and requirements. Wheat is provide more density in the feed, but it depends on what you can buy, at what cost. One will work equally well.
And it's a 6-day turnaround. I'm assuming you call it the 6-day turnaround for growth. Is that the same for wheat as barley?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. We're basically where people are sometimes ask us why don't you keep it another day or two on your systems to have even more leafy green. But I think there the key is to understand we're growing a sprout. We're sprouting grains, and it's a sprouted feed. It's a sprouted ingredient, and the sprouting at 6 days reaches its absolute peak concentration of nutrients and enzymes, and after that the seed starts to basically consume the sugars, and then we are losing a lot of the value of the feed. So at
No.
6 days, it's peak, it's perfect.
Okay. And in regards to just looking at the two different systems that you do have, if say you had a herd of maybe 50, I'm just throwing this out there, 50 dairy cows, how much feed would you need, or what size would you
So
consider?
for a herd of 50, the one DGS 66 will be plenty.
Mhm.
And if it's 50 milking cows, you can definitely take care of all these cows and also some replacement heifers and other cows. So it will be plenty. And then you will have probably a little bit of room to grow if you get into say 55 or 60. What we're also looking at is sometimes we're not really necessarily trying to feed all the cows in a herd. So let's say you've got 200 cows. Even one system could be enough where you will focus your attention on transition cows and high lactation cows, and maybe the cows that really need the best feed ration with the most nutritious feed, to just give them all the chances. We've seen a lot of farmers, they always add that special feed additive to a specific group of cows for specific reasons, and then you can look at Hydrogreen as that kind of ingredient plus being a source of nutrition as well.
Okay. I'm going to repost. I'm going to put your email up here in a second. I think I missed something there or didn't complete it. But if anybody has any questions for Thierry after this, you can either go to the networking tab on the feed loop system, or you can email Thierry directly. So we want to thank you, Thierry, and hopefully everyone will get a chance to watch this. It was very informative and very interesting to what's going on in our times right now. So thank you, Thierry, and I hope everyone else has a great rest of the day for our Precision Ag Conference as it comes to a close. Thank you, Thierry.
Thank you very much. Have a good day,
Take care.
everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.